Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Wednesday, today's Tuesday actually. No, today's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, October 15th. It is 5:54 right now. We got um we got our first entry over here at 6 o'clock. It's coming up in about 5 minutes. We got market open in about 30 minutes. And we'll see what happens here. So for the 6 o'clock entry over here, you guys can see that we have it's going to be against momentum. It has a 70.59% win ratio, 20/40 risk to reward. It's a target entry. It wins 87.50% of the buys, and it won two of the three recent Wednesdays. So I'm aiming to take a buy if it comes up, and we'll kind of see where this goes. I'm wearing the Ray-Ban Metas, the Gen 2s. I'm gonna see if we could get a video here of POV trading. So I mean, we'll see what happens here in a few. Um, yeah, if it's cool, then maybe I'll take more of these POV videos. I'm just curious to see how it looks when we actually take the trade. So hopefully we get this trade here at 7 o'clock. If not, we'll kind of we'll try again for the next one. So it's gonna be against momentum. Right now it's for a sell. So we need a sell signal to come up here in order for us to take that buy. But we'll see what happens here in a few. So all right, guys. Yeah, CJ said good morning, everyone. Let's get those wins, definitely. So let's see. All right, guys. Looks like people are still making their win, but good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, October 15th. It is 5:56. We got the first entry coming up in about 4 minutes. Looking over here at the list again, the list shows that the first entry is at 6 o'clock. We're looking to go against momentum. Win rate for that is 70.59%. Risk reward is 20/40. It's my target entry. Win ratio for buys is 87.50. It won two out of the three recent Wednesdays, and we're aiming to take a buy if it comes up. Looking over here at the overall trend, so looking on the 1 minute time frame, price here is currently it's just ranging. It's going sideways in a chop. Price is slightly above the pivots. The trend meter is green. Pivots are starting to angle to the upside. Looking over here on the 5 and 15, same thing. Price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. This indicates that we are in a bullish trend with regard to the lower time frames. Looking on the higher time frames over here on the 30-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour, you can see here that price over here is as well above the pivots. Trend meter is green and pivots are angling to the upside. However, the volatility here is extremely low right now. So I don't know if we'll get anything as price continues to, move along. Looking down over here at the market structure, you can see over here pretty much the 1 minute, 5, 15, 30, 1 hour, and 4 hour, all bullish, right? So with that being the case, obviously the overall bias here is going to be very, very, very bullish. But you can see over here on the 1 minute, price is not doing anything. It's in a super heavy chop. The ATR is currently at 11 right now. So with that being said, we got the trade coming up in about 2 minutes, guys. It's not looking like we're going to get it here. If you guys do want to take it, I mean, feel free to take it. It is going to be a sell for the algo over here. However, for me to take this trade, I need it to be a buy. Me and Chris were talking about this last night. We're really crossing our fingers, and we might get it, right? We have a pending buy sell signal right here, so we might get it. We'll see if this sell signal closes. We got about 30 seconds left on it. So if that sell signal there closes, we may have opportunity here for entry at 6 o'clock. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, if that sell signal closes, we might get it at 6 o'clock. There's another opportunity that may come up over here at 6:01 as well, but we'll see. We need that sell signal there to close. Hey, Lila, morning. Morning, Ben. Morning, CJ. Morning, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan said, morning, everybody. Sean got the meta glasses. The meta glasses are fire. Got two pairs, clean and dark lenses. Nice. Yeah, I know these are pretty dope, especially for you since you play, professional poker. Um, those POV videos are pretty cool. These are the ones that shift, so they're clear and then they shift into dark lens. I've never seen them shift yet, so I'll see how they look when they do shift. It's been kind of cloudy out here and rainy in California. I know you're out there now on the other side, but yeah, the looks like you left California just in time. So, all right, guys, no entry here for me for the 6 o'clock. Looks like we did not get that momentum signal, unfortunately. We may get it right here. So this may come up, but we'll see. Morning, Karen. Yeah, CJ said dare signal, sell signal, please close. Talanji said good tax claim idea. Yeah, you could get these glasses as a trading expense. They're pretty cool. I mean, if you guys have seen the POV videos on these Gen 2s, they're like really good. I think quality is like 3K, almost 4K. So I'm curious to see how they come out. But all right, guys. So the entry over here for my 6 o'clock is not going to come up for a buy, guys. If you guys want to take it, it is going to be a sell entry. So I'll mark it up for you guys here. I'm not going to take it myself, but I will follow it for you guys. Unfortunately, it did not come up like we wanted to, but if you guys want to take it, the strategy still has a 70% probability of it hitting, right? Let's go over here to the trade analysis. So it wins 55.56% of the sells. It's not a really big win ratio, but it's still there. You're still going to be, the probability is still on your side. It's a tricky entry. I wanted to take a buy here. The thing is, the 601 entry is actually going to be a buy, but I don't want to fade this entry, right? Okay, so right here, it's a sell for the 6 o'clock. The 601 is going to be opposite. So I'm personally not going to take this. I don't want to fade the 6 o'clock entry. For those of you who are taking the 6 o'clock entry, I don't want to go against you if the 601 is going to be a buy because one of them is going to hit and one of them is going to lose, right? So I don't want to be that person to, to be on the other end of the trade. So if you guys are in this position, it's currently running in profit. This is the 6 o'clock. You can see the short position entered right there at the close of this candle. So it's running in profit right now for the 6 o'clock. 601 over here is the next one. Again, it's going to be against momentum. This one has a lower win ratio. So the 601 is not going to be as good of a trade as the 6 o'clock. It has let's go here to the Discord real quick. Actually, it's easier to highlight on here. So the 601 entry is going to be against momentum as well. It has a 58.82% probability of it hitting. It's a 1 to 2 risk to reward. It wins 85.71% of the buys, and it won only one of the three recent Wednesdays. So if you want to take the trade here, obviously you would aim for the buy. That's going to be the 601 entry. So there's going to be two entries here running alongside each other, one for buy, one for a sell. Not exactly the type of entry that you want to be taking, but if you do want to take it, it is currently running now in both directions, actually. Um, yeah, preferably I would take the buy for, I mean, the obvious reasons, right? That's kind of where the statistics are. But I'm going to sit out of this one here. So we're pretty much done with those two entries. The next entry that I'm looking to take here is, well, I'm not going to take the 627, but I'm going to mark it up. This is the same one that we identified yesterday. So at 627 over here, there's going to be one more entry. It's going to be with momentum. So the direction of the momentum signal. Let's go to the Discord again. So at 627, it's going to be with momentum, 64.71% probability of it hitting once it's two risk to reward. Buys win 62.50% of the time, and the sells win 66.67% of the time. It's lost every single previous Wednesday. So if you guys do want to take it, it's going to be a low probability trade. If you do want to take it though, you want to aim for the sell because the sell is going to have a higher probability. So just something to keep in mind. Hey, Sam, morning. But all right, guys. So I mean, that's going to be it for right now. The next entry that I'm probably going to look to get into is going to be at 635. I think that's the same one we took yesterday. Win ratio on that one's pretty decent. All right, so the 6 o'clock entry is running right now. It's looking pretty good so far. We got market opening up in about 27 minutes. We got some time. We got quite a bit of time here. I'm gonna take off these glasses for a little bit because I'm starting to get a headache. I'm not I'm not used to wearing glasses, so I'll put them back on as we get closer to the next entry. We're trying to see if we get some POV trading going, but I want to get it, when the market or when I actually have uh, a position. So let me go over here. I'm going to record this live stream as well. Recording's in progress. All right, we got two entries that are currently running 6 o'clock, 601. They're both running against the opposite of each other. The one that we were looking to take would be the 6 o'clock, of course. It's currently running right now. It's on its way down to profit. A little bit of a low volatility. This one over here has one of the highest It's ranked number one right now. So the 6 o'clock trade is ranked number one, has a 66.7% win ratio, overall mixed. Over here it shows 70 though, so this is the actual number. So it's looking good so far. It's currently running. Let me just delete this one. So looking at that right there, it's almost to the halfway mark. We'll come back and take a look at that in a few. So let's go over here to our main chart. Let's do a full market analysis again. So let's start off with the overall trend. Looking over here on the 1 minute, you can see price is below the pivots. The trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. This indicates that on the 1 minute time frame, it's currently in a bearish trend. Looking over here on the 5 minute, price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green, pivots are still angling up. This indicates that we're in a bullish trend. Looking over here on the 15, same thing. Price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green, pivots are angling up. This indicates right here on the lower time frames that we have a bullish neutral overall trend. And now looking down on the higher time frames, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, you can see here that price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green and the pivots are angling to the upside. This indicates that we have an overall bullish trend with regard to the higher time frames. So it's pretty mixed across the board. Looking over here at the market structure, you can see over here on the 1 minute, it is currently bearish. 5 minute is bullish, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour, all bullish right there. So it's a little mixed across the board. Not exactly the type of bias that you want to be looking at. Again, guys, I personally don't look at price action or technical analysis anymore. I'm just doing this to have an idea of like what the market's looking like with regard to technicals. Um, Hey, Justin, morning. One thing that I realized, well, not realized, but I already knew this, but I was watching an interview yesterday with a hedge fund manager, right? Another hedge fund manager, similar to like what I'm doing. He mentioned that, he's a systematic trader and he trades in algo as well. He trades based off the quantitative data. He said that basically price action and technical analysis is here to basically fool you, right? And I thought about it and I was like, he's onto something. Like this makes sense. The thing with price action and technical analysis is that there's so many different ways to analyze it that you can analyze it here for a sell, and then a totally different person can analyze it for a buy, right? So how do you know which one is right? And the answer is there is no right answer to it, right? It could be analyzed in any way that you see it. Like everyone sees the market differently. That's why for me, we've been using the algo lately. And this just makes the most sense because you can't argue the data, right? You can't argue science. There's no discretion here. Like our entry here for 6 o'clock, I already have the probabilities. I had my direction of where I wanted to take it based on the higher probabilities. And there's no arguing that, a buy here would have made more sense if it did come up. Doesn't mean that the buy is for sure going to win or the sell is for sure going to lose, but the data here, you can't argue it, right? If you're talking to someone else who's analyzing the market through technical analysis or price action, you'll have half the people argue that this should have been a buy, or you have half the people argue that it should be a sell. And there's no right or wrong answer there because the analysis it goes both ways, right? Because the market here was kind of choppy. The overall direction of trend was bullish, so like a lot of people might have said, oh, you should take a buy here, you shouldn't take a sell. But then vice versa, you can, analyze this from a reversal perspective and say, yeah, you should take a sell because it's overextended. So I think it was pretty interesting to see someone kind of mention that because, the thing is like, I feel like when people trade discretionary strategies, which I used to trade discretionary, obviously you want to argue your side. And, that's the thing with trading, like with price action, you can see so many different things on the chart that you're never going to be very confident one way or the other. You might be looking for a buy here, and then you might second think and be like, oh no, it's probably going to come down. Or you could be looking for a sell here, and you could be doing the opposite. But for us here, since we have the data, I'm going to take this off right here. The 6 o'clock trade is still running. The data here shows me that, you know, it could go either way because we had a 70.59% probability of it hitting, right? So 70% of it mentioned that this would hit going opposite, but then we had an 87.50% probability of it winning for a buy. This doesn't give it 100% that's going to guarantee it's going to hit, but this would have given us better probabilities in the other way. So just something to keep in mind, for those of you who do trade discretionary, there's nothing wrong with it, but look at things from a different perspective and see that, price action isn't necessarily there to help you. Price action and technical analysis is there to confuse you most of the time. So yeah, and this isn't to deter you from trading your style. I just wanted to put that out there because I thought that was a really interesting thing to take a look at. So the trade here is running for the 6 o'clock, guys. If you guys did take the 6 o'clock entry again, right here, it was at 6 o'clock and it was against momentum. Let me go back to the Discord. It just hit full TP right there for 40 points. Full TP right there. So looking at this right here, guys, I already identified this entry from last night. As you guys know, we do most of our work the night before. We don't really care about doing much work here during the actual live session. We do all of our work the night before. So last night, this took me about an hour to get this list of trades. I looked up all the trades here between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock with the highest probability. Basically, I marked up all the entries that had so it's a little different how I'm marking up the entries now. Not very different, but you can see over here, usually I only mark up trades that have above a 60%. This hitter here had a 58% at 601, but it had a 85.71 with a directional move. So with that being said, you'll see the overall is not going to be super high as long as it balances out with a directional move. So I called this out last night. I posted this at 10:32 p.m., 6 o'clock. It was against momentum. It had a 70.59% win ratio, a 1-to-2 risk reward. It was one of my target entries. However, I was looking for a buy here because the buy had an 87.50% probability of winning. It won 2 out of the 3 recent Wednesdays, so I was aiming for a buy. Unfortunately, the buy here did not come up. The sell did come up though, which was the actual entry, and it did hit full TP right there. So because I called this out and this is one of my target entries, I'm going to put this over here on our list of today's algo entries. This entry was at 6 o'clock a.m. It was a win for plus 2R. Total for today is currently 1 win plus 2R. All right, it's a great entry right there. My next target entry is going to be at 6:35. There's going to be another one here at 6:27, but it's going to be too close to market open. So personally, I'm not looking to take it. But if you guys do want to take it, I mean, feel free to take it there. So I'll mark it up for you guys when it comes up at 6:27. It's going to be with momentum. Let me go to I wish we could highlight stuff on here, but you can't really highlight stuff on TradingView, and it's kind of bunched up. I wish we could do this like double spaced. Let me see. I think I could probably put some spaces here. It's just it takes up too much. I guess they're okay. This looks a little better. Just kind of hard to read when it's all bunched up. Okay, I could actually highlight it. But again, if you guys are part of the Discord, um, it's easier to see on the Discord. So every night, pretty much around 10 p.m., I'll post up all of my trades that I'm looking to take. It's going to be over here in the premium. So if you guys are not part of the premium and you want all of my trades listed for you the night before so that you can come ready, just go to the website. The website is CodyKaiTrades.com. Click on live trading room right here, and you can get access to the real-time Zoom. Just a reminder, if you guys are on the YouTube is delayed by a minute. So, you know, that minute could be the difference between getting into an entry or missing it. So you know, obviously, if you want real time, get on the Zoom because you don't want to miss these trades. You definitely do not want to miss these trades here because these trades are can make or break your possibility of winning for the day. All right. So, anyways, looking at our list over here, back to like the screener over here, guys. I know a lot of you guys still use a screener. I personally don't really use a screener anymore because I already know what times I want to trade. I basically trade between 6 and 8. I go down the list by minute. So basically, before I used to use a screener over here to look at what are the highest probability trades. For me, all I do now is I go down to my settings and I start at 8, which is 6 o'clock my time. And I just go down by the minute. So I'll do 8 o'clock. I'll hit OK, run the report. I'll go over here to settings. I'll go to 8:01. Hit the report, go down to 8:02. So I basically go down every single minute to identify the entries between 6 and 8. And that's how I get my list over here. If you guys want access to the algo again, I'm making this algo still available to you guys for this week. After this week, the testing is probably gonna be closed, and whoever has access to it, you'll keep using it. But people who don't have access to it and want access to it, you're gonna have to wait for it to reopen. And when it reopens, this algo is gonna be pretty expensive. I'm just gonna put it out there. Because you know, you see how much money we're making trading this algo. This isn't something I typically want to share with the public. So we're gonna make it pretty pricey. So like if you really want to use it, you can get it, but it's not gonna be attainable by most people. Again, here are the stats for the year so far. So I've been running the algo pretty much every day for October. From the 29th up until the 30th, we pretty much had green days every day for the past 3 weeks, except for the 9th over here. This could have been a green day, but I only took one trade. So basically right here from the 29th, win, 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 win. Losing day, win, win. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out of the 11 trading days, we had 10 winning days. So you guys can see the power of this algo here. I mean, Jonathan, so is Jonathan here right now? He probably isn't here. Jonathan took a gold trade at 411 and it hit. So nice work to those of you who are trading gold. Gold is actually a really good asset for the algo because it's very volatile, very, and there's high momentum. Um, I personally don't trade gold. I mean, I tried to trade gold in the beginning, but it's hard to switch between gold and YM. If anything, I think gold might be a good asset to trade uh, outside the session. So outside the live trading session, it might be a good asset to trade. But yeah, for those of you who traded gold, looks like there was a couple entries pre-market around 4 o'clock, 4:11 to be exact, Pacific time, and that hit for Jonathan. I think he texted me in the morning. I was surprised he was awake this morning. He texted me. He's because he's on my time. He lives here in California too, and he hit his entry for that. Let's see. Gasp is asking, where can I get it now? If you guys want access to the algo, just go to the website. It's CodyKaiTrades.com. Click on strategies right here, and then you can get access to the algo. Again, it's only available for this week, guys. If you don't sign up by this week, it's gonna be closed for a while because we're in the testing phase right now, and people only have temporary access to it during the testing phase. Once we transition to we're done with the testing phase. I don't know how long the testing phase is going to last for. It's probably going to last for a while, maybe till the end of the year. Um, so you're really getting in for a huge discount because one of these trades could cover, could cover a lot. Like yesterday, I took one trade, and the trade from yesterday, I locked in 34,000. Of course, this is between 40 accounts, but if you were to do the math, like so, for example, 34 on 15 divided by 40 accounts, basically 1,000 would have made 1,000. And I trade on my personal account, so you know, you do the math there. If you could lock in, a couple $1,000 per trade, you win 10 of the trades, that's going to be basically 8,000. It's a lot of profit. All right, so guys, next entry over here again, like I said, is going to be at 627. So let's put the stats over here in for 627. It's going to be with momentum. And click OK. The stats are going to populate right here. It's currently updating the report. Let's see. Ed is asking Sean, if you're planning to take a short at 835, the 833 short is slightly more likely to hit as the only loss ran up to almost TP, if that makes sense. Okay, no, that's good to know, Ed. So Ed, basically over here, he had the stats with the 633. Let's pull that up real quick. We got some time. So you mentioned at 633. Let's just see the stats real quick. And it's with momentum, right? So you said short is slightly more likely to hit. So thanks for the tip on that, Ed. And this is what's good about us testing the algo together, right? Everyone has their own little quirks and they have their own little tips and stuff that they see here. So I'm looking over here at 633. It has a 41.18 probability of it winning overall. Looking over here at the trade analysis, the trade analysis here is pretty strong. So thanks Ed for the heads up on that. Ed basically mentioned that if it's a sell, it's likely to hit because it has an 83.33% probability of it hitting. Overall performance here is low. I don't like it when the overall performance is low because it shows that the trade is not consistent. However, it does show here that it is very consistent with the sell. It just took a lot of losses here on the buys, so that's why it kind of brought down the probability a little more. But looking over here for a sell, it looks like, yeah, and it lines up with this too. So the trade might start at 633, right? So the movement for momentum may start to happen at 633. So like basically over here before the trade comes up. And then if it starts at 633, it'll probably continue with 635. So you might be able to get in for a discount or better entry for that there. So thanks, Ed, for the heads up on that one. Good to know. I think I did see this during my testing, but because the overall profitability was so light, I didn't even mark it up. I need to have at least a 50 for me to mark it up, like even to have a starting point. And then from there, I go over to the trade analysis. But good to know. Good to know. So yeah, these trades over here around like, and let's check the 640, 634. let's check the in between, right? I'm kind of curious to see if the in between hits too. Of trading off statistics, right? We're trading off the quantitative data because it shows you that, okay, if the sells hit for 633, let's see if it hits for 634, it's probably gonna hit for 635, right? 635 has an even higher win ratio. So this is 634. Let's go over here to the, okay, so yeah, the sells here look great. Even on 634, it's 83.33. So it looks like like the trade starts to turn for a sell closer to like, let's go to 30. Let's see market open. I'm just kind of curious to see what the numbers are looking like. Like, when does this start to turn for a sell usually? Because there might be an earlier price point where you can kind of get, or a time point where you can maybe start to like look for the sells here. Because there's a turning point usually that happens as it leads up to the actual entry. All right, so this is gonna be 6:30 market open. It has a 23% probability of it hitting. Trade analysis here is not really that great. So the opening candle here is not gonna be super great for let me check against momentum. It looks like around 6:33 is when it starts to turn towards the sell. It doesn't always turn, but it starts to turn around that point. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, the for 6:30, it's actually good for buys. It's 52.94 probability. However, the profitability here is not very I mean, it's consistent, but it's not consistent enough. It has 70% probability of it winning for a buy, but I need this to be above 80. I need it to be pretty high if it's gonna be at 50 overall. So let's go back to that 33 entry again that Ed was talking about. This was with momentum, I believe. Yeah, Ed mentioned if you look at the trade that lost on the short, it ran up like 38 points. Let's see. Okay, it was right here at on the 14th. Or no, not 14th. It was on the 9th. So let's go over here to the 9th real quick. This is the cool thing. If you guys just look at this right here, you can just click on the trade and it'll pull up. So looking at this right here, yeah, it looks like it got really close to the target, but then it got too close to open. So it looks like what happened here is it got caught in the open manipulation. The entry happened right there. It got really close to it. Yeah. And unfortunately, it just got stopped out just a little bit by like 2 points. So it ran up like literally to target and then it reversed. But I can see for this entry, this was a manipulated entry, of course, because of the market open, right? See this huge market open? I would have taken the sell there anyways because the sell looks like it was going to come down further to fill this gap. But okay, no, that's good to know. That is great to know. So yeah, thanks for your input right there, Ed. If you guys have any comments or you want me to analyze it any deeper, let me know because this is helpful not just for me, but it's helpful to all you guys here so that you guys can kind of be, well prepared for your entry a little later. So yeah, that 635 entry looks good for a sell. We're not going to get into early, we're not going to get into late, we're going to get in just perfectly in the middle. Right here, the next entry is at 627. Only problem with this 627 entry is the fact that we're going to be pretty close to market open. So if you guys want to take it, I mean, feel free. You guys are welcome to take the trade. I'm going to just follow it, not actually get into it because, I mean, obvious reasons, right? Obvious, obvious reasons here. So the trade at 627 is, let me just highlight it real quick. All right, 627 right here. This is going to be with momentum, has a 64.71 probability of it winning, 1 to 2 risk reward. It wins 62.50% for the buys, 66.67 for the sells. So it doesn't really matter which direction you're taking. I mean, they both have decent win ratios. However, the problem here is that it lost every previous Wednesday. So with this data being at hand, this is going to indicate that this is probably not going to be a good trade right at 627 because it looks like it loses majority of Wednesdays. So just keep that in mind. If you guys want to take it, I would consider this a risky entry. Yeah, as you can see, it's not my target entry. There's no target entry label there. I'm gonna wait for the next one at 635. So as you wait for this, I'm gonna go ahead and mark up liquidity over here for you guys. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. I don't have any entries until later, so I'm not really pressured to take anything or really do anything until 6:35, which is my entry time. The thing is we do all of our work the night prior. I don't really stress out during the trading hours. I kind of just trade, right? I don't really do much. I just kind of trade. Um, I trade whatever I planned for the night before. So it's nice because, before we would be kind of stressed out because we would miss entries. We would have to analyze stuff really quickly. All this stuff, the heavy lifting is done already. Now we just wait for our entry to actually show up, which is nice. It's really nice, actually. So I'm marking up liquidity over here. Again, I don't use price action or technical analysis. I'm doing this just for you guys. This is just so that you guys can see the liquidity. I don't really care about it anymore because I'm basing all my trades off the data. If the data shows, like for example, if we have a trade running up and the data here shows that we shouldn't take buys, I don't really care about the data. I mean, I don't care about the price action or technical analysis. I'm still going to take that buy. So for example, we have a sell coming up at 635, right? I don't care if you have support at the bottom or demand or any of that stuff. Really, I'm still looking to take that trade because the data shows me that the trade moves in that direction consistently every day for the past, month basically. So for my analysis, I never second guess the data. I base everything off the data. And if I lose a trade, that's fine because the data showed me that probabilities were on my side. All right, so I marked up liquidity over here. If you guys are looking to take, liquidity sweeps or whatever, maybe I've marked up all the liquidity here. Again, I don't use this stuff, so it's for the most part, it's kind of irrelevant to me because like we talked about this earlier, price action technical analysis, this tends to just confuse people for the most part. There's so many ways to analyze for a buy, there's so many ways to analyze for a sell. For me, I just want to go straight to the data. And the data over here shows that at 627 has a 64% probability of it hitting either way, buy or sell. It's going to be with momentum. So if you guys are looking to take this trade, it is going to be a buy. All right, guys, trade is currently running right there. Or no, not yet. Sorry. One more candle. One more candle, and then the trade will be running over here for 627. It's going to be for a buy. The probability on this isn't super high. It's at 64.71. So this is a toss up. For me personally, I would say this trade over here at 627 is a toss up. Keep in mind the market's going to open at 630, so you only really have about 2 minutes for it to hit. It's either going to hit your TP or your stop loss within the next 2 minutes. I guess that's a good thing if you guys just really want to know right away if you're going to win or lose a trade. You're going to know within the next 2 minutes for sure. There's no news today. Today's technically Fed day. So today's Wednesday, October 15th. This is Fed week. You guys can see there's a lot of Fed speakers later today at 9, 9:30, 10, 11, etc. So, all right, long position is right there, guys. I'm not in the position right here. This isn't one that I targeted for entry. We got market opening up shortly, guys. So if you guys are looking to take the entry here for the momentum breakout for today is going to be, depends on what you guys want to take it as, right? If you guys want to take the momentum breakout here as a 1 minute entry, depends on how this candle here closes with momentum. So let's go back to that algo entry. So good thing we skipped that. Well, the thing with this algo entry is if you were to take it, I said to aim for a sell, right? This wasn't a sell entry, so this would have been skipped even if I wanted to take it. But looking over here at 627, you can see I pretty much marked it up for you guys right there. At the end of each analysis, I have a bias. My bias here said aim for self-taking because the sell had a higher probability of it winning. Not a big difference, but it was 66.67. So if you took the sell there instead of a buy, it looks like it probably would have hit. It looks like 40 points. I'm not going to count that because it wasn't a target entry for me, but the trade is running right there. All right, my next actual entry is going to be at 635. This is going to be one of my actual targeted entries. All right, clean this up a little bit. Algo's going to update. Again, if you guys are looking to take the breakout here for market open, it's going to be a buy entry. You have a bullish momentum right there. You guys want to take that entry? I have it marked up for you guys there. Looking at the overall market structure, it's looking pretty bullish right now. So we'll see what happens here. But this is going to be the breakout on open for those of you who are looking to get into it. My next entry is going to be at 6:35, so I got some time. Damn, huge, huge volatility spike right here. Depending on like where you set your targets, because I mean, some of you guys are doing a 50-50, some of you guys are doing 40-80. There goes the opening breakout, huge spike to the downside. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing, boomerangs all the way back to the upside. But I'm not in this position. So again, not taking this here. Let's take a look at the overall direction of bias again. So looking over here on the 1 minute time frame, it's bearish prices below the pivots. Trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. The 5 minute over here is bearish as well. 15 minutes bullish. 30 minutes bullish. 1 hour is bullish. 4 hours bullish. Again, this is a reason why I don't really like price action or technical analysis anymore for my trades, because you can see it doesn't matter what your analysis is, right? Your analysis here could be pointing to the upside, could be pointing to the downside. Whatever happens here, you can still get manipulated out. So I'm not in any positions here right now. Price is dumping extremely heavily right now. This thing dumped, well, not that bad. It looks big because this candle was huge, but it was about 60 points. So a 60-point dump right there. I'm kind of curious to see what it was on the 10 minute. So the 10 minute time frame over here, it was actually for a sell. So if you took it there for a sell, I mean, it looks like it still would have stopped you out either way. So if you took it for a buy here, it would have stopped you out. And if you took it for a sell here, it probably would have stopped you out too, because it didn't hit the full 80. Yeah, it didn't hit the full 80. And if you use the 50-50, I think you still would have gone stopped out either way. Yeah, either way, it doesn't matter if you use the 40-80, 50-50, it would have stopped you out. So I didn't take the opening breakout here. Obviously, I don't take the opening breakout. My next entry here is going to be at 6:35. So I'll be looking for that here as price moves along. Again, looking at my entry at 6:35, it's going to be with momentum, has a 70.59% win ratio overall. 1 to 2 risk to reward. It's my target entry. It wins 83.33% of sells. So I'll be looking to take this here if it comes up for a sell. If it doesn't come up for a sell, I'm not looking to take it. We currently have bullish momentum here, so I need to have a bearish momentum come up to confirm that so I can go with momentum. If it doesn't, then my next entry is going to be at 6:47. And we're just moving down the list here. We're moving down the list as we look for more entries along the way. But I got my settings over here set to that 6:35. So 6:35 looks good. You can see over here for sells, 83.33 probability of it hitting. But yeah, that's my next entry. That is my next entry right there. All right, nothing so far. Let's see, CJ. Yeah, so for the momentum breakout on open, you should keep it wider. The 420, I mean, if you want to try it out or use it, you can, but I think 20 points is going to be too tight, just in case, the market tends to spike on open, which it does. So I probably wouldn't use a 40-20, probably use an 80-40. Or you can use a 50-50, it's up to you. But I think the 80-40 had a higher probability of it hitting. We ran the data for I think a whole year, and the 80-40 was still profitable in the long term. All right, 6:35 is coming up pretty soon. Um, like I said, we're looking for a sell here. Unfortunately, it does not look like we're going to get a sell here for 6:35. Rashida said 80-40 entry for 6:35. Okay, gotcha. Are you looking for a sell too, Rashida? I'm assuming it's a sell. It should be. Um, okay, cool. Yeah, so Rashida over here is also looking for a sell. It's not looking like we're going to get it, guys. We would have to get a sell signal on this candle right here in order for it to confirm. So for the 635, you want to go with momentum. The momentum right now is bullish because we have a buy signal here. So I'm going to be skipping the 635 entry. If you guys want to take it, I will mark it up for you guys. Let's take a look at the statistics here for buys. The statistics aren't that bad. There's 63.64 probability of it winning for a buy. But because, my bias and what I identified last night was for a sell, I'm not looking to get into this here for a buy. If you guys want to take it, it's going to happen on the next candle, not this specific one, but the next one. Yeah, no sell signal there, unfortunately. So the entry right here at 635 is going to be a buy, guys. It's not a bad entry, but it's not a great one. So, I'm only looking for these great entries that I feel very confident about. Overall, it has a 70.59% probability of it hitting. That's still pretty good. You have 70% of it likely to hit for you, 30% of it to lose.
Connection lost.
Looking over here, yeah, it's weird. I always get connection loss at this exact time. This is what happened yesterday too with our entry. I had connection loss at the 635 entry. I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, all right, guys, candle's gonna close in about 15 seconds. Solange said didn't take the breakout and not taking them anymore. Too much volatility messes with my psychology, makes me want to revenge trade. Yeah, that's the exact reason why I stopped taking them, Solange. They're good entries, but you got to have some thick skin and you got to have the psychology to continue taking them. All right, so the entry right here is currently running, guys. This is for the 635. It's with momentum. We had a buy signal right there. Again, this trade has a 70 0.59 probability of it winning for you. So if you guys take that trade right there, probabilities are good, but they're not as good as I needed them to be. I needed them to be a bit higher, and I already identified a sell if I wanted to take it. So right here, it's running in profit. It's almost on its way up. It's pushing up right there. Almost there. A few points away from its full target right there for 40 points. There it goes. It pulls right back down. So we'll see. Full TP right there, guys. Full TP target right there, 40 points. So if you guys caught that, nice work. If you guys didn't catch it, completely fine. Again, we're gonna add that to our list over here because this was one of my target entries. See over here, 635, win ratio was 70%. This win ratio is gonna go up because of the win for today. And there we go. Solange got it. Nice work. Solange full TP on that. And CJ over here caught it as well. So great work, guys. If you guys took any of those trades right there, it's been on fire so far. Win for another 2R. It literally went directly. So this is the power of the algo, right? The algo called it exactly at that point right there. Called it exactly at the 40 points. And it hit, and then it came right back down. Yeah. What an entry. Okay. So with that being the case, my next entry here is going to be at 647. 647 right here. So this one's going to be a little tricky. It's going to be with momentum. It has an overall probability of 58.82%, 1 to 2 risk to reward. It's one of my target entries. It has a probability of it winning for sells, 87.50%. It won 2 out of 3 recent Wednesdays. So I'll be aiming for a sell if it ends up coming up here. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to continue climbing up slightly and then make a reversal here as we get closer to 647. So I'm looking for a reversal back down. But yeah, there we go with that entry right there, full TP. For both of the entries which came up today so far, this one over here at 6 o'clock and then this one over here at 6:35. Yeah, the algo identified this. I called this out last night already, right here at 6:35. So we'll follow it and we'll kind of see what's going to happen next. Let's see a question from Alad. All right, there we go. Full TP on that trade. So two back-to-back full TPs right here, 6 o'clock, 6:35. I didn't take either of the entries for the obvious reasons. But like I said, the probabilities for this trade, I mean, they were good for both directions. It was just I already had my direction set for the night prior. It went exactly to target, and now it's coming back down. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a reversal back to the downside. I'm looking for a sell signal here to come up, and I'm looking for this to come right back down for this range. So, all right, guys, we got this. I'm looking for this to flip. All right, so these two trades are done. Two entries from the algo today, which were my target entries, 6 o'clock, 6:35, both full TPs for 40 points. We're up now 4R for the day. Let me go over here and move this over to 47. So, like I said, guys, you're never going to be 100% with a trade, right? You just want to trade with the probabilities. You want to have the probabilities on your side. These trades over here, they hit and the probabilities were decent, but they weren't necessarily on my side for a specific direction, right? Because it doesn't show that it always loses for sells or for buys, but it had a lower probability. So same with this entry over here at 647. So 647 has an overall profitability of 58.82, but on sells here has an 87.50. It won basically 7 out of the 8 trades for a sell there. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to turn back around and then reverse right back to the downside. If I don't get that entry at 647, that's completely fine. We're going to move on to the next one at 721. So we'll uh we'll see where it goes from here. We got about we got 6 minutes for it to turn around. Let's go to the orb. So the orb just came over here as well. All right, so the orb actually never came back to retest, but it is pushing up about 100 points, it looks like. Or maybe it might. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, the orb never came back for the retest. So, this is the main reason why I stopped taking the orb is that it just would never come back for the retest. It would just shoot right through. Um, I'll probably create an algo for the orb here so that you can kind of identify if it's hitting more for the retest or if it's hitting more for the just breaking continuation. Because if we have that data there, we can probably take the orb as well. Because if it just keeps pushing, then it's obviously going to be better to just enter right away than wait for that retest. All right, so again, I'm looking for price here to turn. I'm looking for price to hit a resistance or some type of ceiling and then come back down. Basically, a head and shoulders back to the downside. It's pushing up. We got some time here. We just need this to flip the other way by 647. All right, you guys can see here this liquidity got pretty much knocked out. It's swept at this lower level. Let me go over here and just make some adjustments real quick, clean this up. Yeah, I'm looking for price to turn around at some point. It doesn't have to turn around, but in order for me to take that sell, I need it to turn around. There's some market structure right here. It's based off this lower high or this higher high, actually. Yeah, this thing is still climbing up higher. All right, so I got structure over here pretty much identified on the main chart for those of you who are looking for structure. I'm looking for this to turn around still. So it's looking like it's starting to hit a ceiling up here, which is good. Looking for that sell signal to come up. Once that sell signal comes up, I can start looking for a possible turnaround for our algo entry right here. So it looks like we got a ceiling up here. We need that sell signal for us to really look into this entry. So the entry again right here is at 647. Overall probability is at 58.82. We're getting that sell signal there, that which is currently pending. So we got basically a 60% overall probability, but an 87.50 for a sell specifically. All right, that sell signal did not close. We got about a minute, maybe 2 minutes for that sell signal to close. If it doesn't come up, that's completely fine. If you guys still want to take this here for a buy, the entry right here might be a buy for 647. The thing is, the probability is not super high. It's at 33.33 for buys. It basically won 3 out of the 9 previous buy entries. So I don't know. It's a risk. It's a pretty big risk if you guys do decide to take the buy here. It doesn't mean it's not. It's not. It's like there's no guarantee. There's no. It can go either way, is what I'm trying to say here. Like you have a 33% probability of it winning for a buy, but you have basically a 70% of it losing to come back down the other way. Those odds are not. I don't like those odds. I need the odds to be very high, like 70, 80% in my favor, not against it. All right, so we got price over here kind of like sitting around this area. Let's see the orb again real quick. So the orb pushed up. It pushed up 40 points for sure. Hit 60 points for sure. Did it hit 100 already? Not yet. Visual, I think you're probably in this position. So hopefully, I know you're probably aiming for that 100. Hopefully it hits for you. Okay, so there's no sell signal here, guys. So unfortunately, the entry here for 647, it looks like it's probably going to be a buy. Or we might get it still. Like we have the sell signal, which is currently pending on this candle right here. It's got to close though. It's got to close. Oh, this candle is huge. I don't know about this anymore. This candle is a little too huge. I know we try not to factor in price action, but because this candle's so big, the ATR is going to start to pick up a little bit. It's currently at 32 right now. It's not horrible, but it's starting to pick up. Okay, so the entry here is probably going to come up for a sell, guys, for any of you who are looking to take it. I just don't like that we had this huge, huge candle right here that kind of popped up out of nowhere. So the momentum is a sell. If you guys want to take this entry right here, it's going to be a sell. As soon as this candle closes, has 30 seconds left on it. I got a couple of seconds here to think on it. Again, I don't like when the candles are big like this because you tend to get manipulation, right? We're trying to avoid manipulation. We don't want to trade when the market's manipulated, because if you're basing it off the data, you can have a random spike like this, and this could really screw up the data because the data moves with like consistent movement. This is not consistent. So I think I'm going to sit out of this intro right here, guys. If you guys want to take it, go ahead. I'm going to wait for the next one at 620, 721. I got a couple more opportunities down here. So I'm not going to risk it on this one. But if you guys want to take it, go for it. I'm just being a little conservative here because obvious reasons, right? I don't want to get screwed on a position that I know I could probably avoid. So trade's running right now in profit. It's right there for a sell. You can see it's currently pushing down further. I mean, it's looking good so far. The thing with the overall win rate is that, or the probability, it's not like super, super high either. It was at 58.82. So if this here was like at 60, and it's about to hit target right there. Damn, should have got into it, but it's okay. You guys caught that right there, full TP. It did exactly. The algo was spot on. It identified this. Again, this is where the discretion kind of like screws with my position sometimes, but I did see this. We identified it already last night. This was going to happen and did that perfectly. Another one right there. So the data was okay. It wasn't like one of those where I for sure was fully confident about it because of the overall win ratio. Again, typically I like it to be above 60, ideally above 65. Right? This one is lower than what I usually go for. So three back-to-back wins over here, guys, for the entry. 6R right there. Let's see. Sam said, Sean, you're looking for sells. Why, if you may? Because the data over here shows that it's the probability is higher for sells. I mean, there's probability for buys too, but for the most part, the probability here shows that it's for sells. My algo runs through all the data over here, so it shows me that the sells here typically win around this point in time. And that's why we were looking for sells here specifically. Same with this one over here. So these two entries over here, they didn't come up. These were no entries that came up for me. They came up as normal entries, but they didn't come up with my bias for a sell because I'm looking for the entries with higher probability. Nice, Rev got into it. PC said, "What's there to think about if you're trading off data?" Well, the data didn't line up with what I was looking for, PC. Does that make sense to you? The data here, I'm looking for something that has a higher win ratio. Like my threshold is above 65, right? That's why this was on the fence because this wasn't above. This is lower than pretty much everything else. If you look at all my other target entries, they're above 60%, right? The individual direction is good, but the overall direction isn't. If the overall direction isn't above 60 or 65, it shows that there's no consistency there, right? It's consistent for sells here, like just sells in general, but it's not consistent as a specific entry at the specific time, right? Does that make sense? Like that's the whole point of trading off the quantitative data. My data is I'm looking for trades that have very, very high probability. The trade here had a high probability, but not very high, right? I want to take a trade where I'm very confident about it. I don't have to think about it. For this year, I had to think about it because it didn't meet my criteria. Like in order for it to get on the list, it typically has to have at least 60. So this didn't even meet their criteria. For it to be one that I actually call as a target entry, it has to have above 65, right? But if you factor in the single direction with the overall, then it can qualify as a target entry. But for the most part, these don't qualify as a traditional target entry for me. That's why for these, think twice about it. And also, this candle here came up at the last second, right? This here was not dropping down like how it did earlier. The problem is when you get a big candle like this, it tends to retrace up a little bit. And it did, right? The candle here prior, the entry candle, it did retrace up about, how far did it retrace up to? Or traced about 46 points. The other factor here is the ATR. If the ATR is too high, this data is based off, a 20-point stop loss. The thing is, most recently, over the previous couple of days, the data here has been skewed because the ATR has been so high. Like yesterday, the data was at like, the ATR is close to like 40, 45, 50 around there. So yeah, we're trading off the data here. That's why the data here shows that these are the possible entries. But if the data doesn't line up with what I'm looking for, I'm not going to take that risk. That's the whole point of trading quantitatively, right? Yeah, Solange said trade like the bank. Sean's algo. Okay, watch this. I know, right? Whenever people talk about supply and demand or all that stuff, that shit just goes out the window. Like everything that people have like I've seen people talk about, like exactly what Solange said, oh, we trade like the banks. No, you don't. The banks don't trade off charts. Like banks and hedge funds don't trade off technical analysis. They trade off the data. And uh, this over here is the data that I have lined up. So let's see what we got over here real quick. Yeah, CJ said this algo is on point. Drew said exactly. Following your rules means sitting out even when the trade would have hit due to a random chance. Yeah, 100% Drew. Exactly. CJ said I took it, got in late, scored 34 points because it moved so fast. Yeah, it spiked down like that. Yeah, okay. So we are looking for the next entry over here. Next entry is gonna be at 721. 721 is gonna be the next entry. So 721 kind of has the same statistics, but it has lower statistics actually as the one at 647. So let me just pull up the 721 entry over here. I mean, we'll see what it looks like. Obviously, if it looks good, then. But again, like I said, my criteria is it needs to be above a 60. 60% at least. This one here has it's a lot lower. It's at 52. It's going to be against momentum. So we're looking for a reversal move right here at 621. So over here it is against momentum and has a 52.94% probability of it winning overall. Once it's risk reward, target entry right here. The reason why it became a target entry with a low overall is because the win ratio is at 83.33 for sells. It won 2 out of the 3 recent Wednesdays. I'm aiming for a sell if it comes up. So we'll be looking for this here, and we're looking at the data. The trades here at 7 o'clock, they're not going to be as good overall, but the individual direction is pretty decent. Let's see. PC said you said you were looking for a sell this whole time. Yeah, but I'm telling you, I'm not gonna explain it to you, PC, because you just don't get it, bro. I'm explaining to the probabilities over here, right? Just because I was looking for a sell, I'm explaining why we had a second. We had to like reanalyze on this here because my threshold is above 64. It's above 60 to be on the list, and it's above 65 for me to be my target entry. But see how these kind of balance out? Or I mean, maybe you don't see it, bro, because you just keep you're just not getting it. I'm explaining to you the numbers here, and you're just not getting it. You're saying that because I'm looking for a sell, I should have taken it. But the thing is, the numbers here don't align. So, I mean, if you don't understand the numbers, then you just don't understand the numbers. My threshold is above 60 to be on the list, above 65 to be a typical entry. This isn't a typical entry. That's why for these, it could go either way. Anyways, the next entry over here at 721, it's going to be, let me just update this real quick. So this is against, I need to shift this over a little bit. This will be okay. And so it had a 17% probability for with momentum. That's why I'm shifting it over here to against momentum. And this number here is going to update. So the numbers over here are going to update from 17% to now 52. So again, going over my threshold so that certain people will understand, I'm looking for above 60% for it to be on the list, but because we're over here with the probability for it for cells, it balances out. So, I mean, I could do an equation to see what the actual number would be in total, like if we were to, look at the average of the overall plus the cells, but I'm not going to do that. It's just this becomes a trade that may be a possible entry that I want to look to take, but the probabilities aren't going to be super high, right? I want the trades that are going to be very, very high in our favor. So with this over here, that's kind of what we're going to be looking for when it gets to 621. Yeah, Justin said the algo was ripping. Yeah, it's been pretty solid today overall. Pretty solid, but the entries that have been coming up, they're not the probabilities aren't super high, right? So like I said, you'll never be 100%. You could be going the opposite of like what we look for, but your probabilities, you want to take the ones that have the highest probability. Like for example, the trade that happened at 647. This had an overall probability, or like we'll go to a different one, right? Let's go to so at 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, this one had a probability overall of 70%. This is a good example. And it showed that it won 87.50% of buys, but then it won, or sorry, yeah, 87.50% of buys, but then it won, what's the number? 87 divided by 100 or minus. So 87.50% for buys minus 100. It had a 12.5% probability of a buy win or a sell winning, right? This trade over here was for a sell. This doesn't give you a 0% chance. It still gave you a 12.5% chance that it would hit for a sell, which it did hit. Like I said, I'm trading with probability. So in order for me to take this trade, I need the probabilities to be on my side. It doesn't mean it's not going to hit, but we were trading in the direction where we have higher probability. If I had a choice, right? If I had a choice whether I was going to take a trade that had an 87% probability of it hitting or a 12%, which one would you take? 87, right? No brainer. So that's why for here we were looking for a buy, came up for a sell, and it still won, but I'm not going to take those chances, right? Same with the trade over here at 627 or 721. For this over here, it has an overall, like the overall is not super high, but the win ratio for the sells are high. So I'm going to go with the side that has higher probability. Um, Let's see. David said, Sean, can you touch base on your hedge again? Okay, so for the hedge fund guys, if you guys are interested in investing in the hedge fund, basically what the hedge fund does is we operate on a managed futures model. So what that is basically you'll open a personal account with NinjaTrader. You're going to need about a 10,000 initial capital to start because you need that to cover the margin. You're not going to risk all of it, but that's how much you typically need. And then once you have that account with NinjaTrader, you're going to send over your details to me. I'm going to present those details to the compliance department at NinjaTrader. I'm going to tell them, okay, I'm Sean. I'm the hedge fund manager. This is Drew. He wants me to trade his account. Here's his power of attorney. He's giving me permission to trade his account, and then we link your account to mine. So like the compliance manager at NinjaTrader knows that I'm trading your account, and the regulators know that I'm trading your account as well. Once we link your account, basically whatever trades my personal account takes, your account is going to copy. And then for that, you're just going to pay a monthly service fee. Before it used to be a profit split. So at the end of each month, we would usually split profits 50-50 if you were under 100K. But because I have so many clients, it's a lot of work for me to go and chase you down. Like basically at the end of each month, I would have to chase you down, Drew, and be like, hey, Drew, this is how much profit you made. You got to send me over 50% or I'm going to take your account off. You can imagine how much work that is to chase after like 100 people every month. So now it's just a service fee. You pay a service fee based on the contract sizes that you decide to take. So for example, if you were to trade one contract, the service fee would be 300, right? But for example, if you were to win, like for example, we're at 6R today, right? So if you were to trade um, 1 times 5 times 40, which is one win, and then you're going to anticipate maybe like a 10R at the end of the month, you probably make about 2,000. So you pay about 300 in service fees or just service fee for the month, and then you'll keep all of your profit at the end of each month. So that's uh that's what you would that's how it'll work. You just basically link your account, you pay a service fee for me to link your account to mine, and then you keep all your profits at the end of each month. David said 10K per contract. No. So 10K could probably get you up to like maybe 3 to 5 contracts. Um, Let me see what the margin is. Here, I'll look up the margin real quick. So NinjaTrader YM margin requirements. Let me see what the margin requirements are for. There's no entries right now, guys, so you're not missing out on anything. Okay, so here are the margin requirements for YM. So you need about 500 per contract. So I mean, you could take a lot of contracts actually. You need 15,000 per contract. So basically 500 per contract. So if you wanted to, I mean, you don't want to push it though. If you get too close, then you could get margin called out. So if you have 10,000 divided by 500, you can technically take 20 contracts. But that's why I'm saying you want to have that cushion because if you're taking 3 trades, for example, you got 3 trades per the day. Like you don't want to get too deep. Like you can go pretty, if you want to risk it and go heavy, like heavy, then yes, of course you could. But for me personally, as your hedge fund manager and as your advisor, I'm not going to recommend that you go that heavy. If you're doing a 10,000, you probably want to go with like maybe 5 contracts max. But if you do 5 times 4 times or 5 times 40, so per trade, you would probably make about 1,000. And then, like we said, we're talking about you could basically double up your account if you wanted to. If you had a 10R at the end of the month, you basically make 10,000. So you start with 10,000, you end up with 20,000. That's just the numbers there. I wouldn't recommend you do that, but if that's what you wanted to do, some people like to take higher risk. You can. It's possible. So yeah, if you want to look at the margin requirements are on the website for NinjaTrader. Basically, right here for YM, you need to hold a trade overnight. You need 15,111.61 cents for per contract. For daily trades, you just need 500 to float the margin. Yeah, that's basically what you would need. Daniel said a bunch of random giant candles. Yeah, exactly. Solange said you forgot to put your glasses through with those fast winds. Explain why you didn't take them would be a good video. I know. I'll try to keep the glasses on next time so I mean, these are good explanations, right? Explaining the probabilities, why I'm taking certain trades, why I have to hesitate on certain trades, why trades are taken right away. There's different, there's different explanations for why we take certain trades and why we don't. Some people get it, some people don't. I mean, I try to be as clear as possible, but for some people, it's hard to really get across. But yeah, in the future, Talanji, I'll try to keep the glasses on so that we can explain it, and I'll probably have like, videos explaining or videos that you can refer back to understand like why these probabilities matter, why I go for a certain number, why is there a threshold, etc. A lot is asking, can we use Apex accounts for the hedge fund? No, you can't. You can only use real money because you're going to be trading on the real market, not through Apex. Apex also doesn't allow you to copy other people's accounts. So if you try to copy someone else's account, you're probably going to get banned. It's probably what happened to Will. I don't know where Will's at right now, but Will's the only person I know that's actually banned from Apex. I don't know what he did. He said he didn't do anything, but it's you got to do something pretty bad to get banned from Apex. Because they don't ban anybody, right? They'll take your eval fee. But for them to like tell you you can't even open the evals anymore, I mean, there's got to be something. It's got to be something. Yeah, Solange said I fully get it, LOL. Just thinking about your audience. Yeah, no, and I'm not talking about you, Solange. I'm talking about the audience. You understand how it works. So it is yeah, it'd be useful. I mean, it's just useful for other people to understand the thought process behind all of it. Let's see. Justin said, we can all learn from your trading discipline, bro. I'm here for it. Yep, 100%. Lila said, how can we order our t-shirts? Love it. I'm gonna get some new ones made, Lila. So I think you're gonna like the new ones. I'm getting a new design made for the hedge fund. I think you're gonna really like the new ones. I think we have some more of these. I'll probably order some more of these, and then once they're available, I'll make them. I'll let you guys know. But I think you're gonna like the new ones. So they're gonna be very similar, but a different design. Will said no. I did do that. Did not do that. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I messaged them, so let's see. I messaged them yesterday. They said they're still looking up on it. So I'll try to confirm again. But I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why it's taking so long for them to get back to me about your account specifically, Will. Because they went over someone else's account and they were perfectly fine. They like lifted there wasn't a ban, but they fixed the issue that the other person had. But for some reason for yours, they're not getting back to us right away. I'll try to get back to them again, Will, and I'll follow up. A lot said waiting for the t-shirts too. Daniel said, does the shirt give you extra patience? I need one. Probably does, huh? We have to get those heavy shirts. Keep you grounded for these entries. Sam said, FYI, so Powell's speech yesterday hinted that the Feds will switch off balance sheet tightening, stopping money vacuum. It means printer is on very soon. Please confirm it. Watch the video and analysis. Yeah, I'll rewatch that. I'll rewatch that later, or I'll just watch I'll just have ChatGPT give me a quick overview of what happened. Yeah. ChatGPT is such a powerful tool. If you guys don't know how to use ChatGPT, I do highly recommend you guys, and it's not that difficult to use. I use ChatGPT for everything now, especially for news because I don't want to watch the actual video. I'll just have ChatGPT give me like the important parts of like certain speeches and stuff like that, and it gives you a pretty concise breakdown of everything. Because I'm not going to sit down for like an hour and watch Powell speak, right? I'll just fast forward to like what's important. All right, guys, we got price pretty much climbing up right here. Again, like I said, at 721, it's going to be against momentum. So we're looking for a possible reversal. So I'm looking for price to kind of flatten out here a little bit and then reverse back down lower. We're not basing it off price action or technical analysis. We're just basing it off the data here. The data here shows that around 721, 723, price tends to start to reverse to the downside. Yeah, Will said I really appreciate it. They must be busy. I don't know. Yeah, well, so what happened was last week when I sent them the message, well, they sent the first group of traders from Apex. Like I mentioned, they're setting the top traders from Apex to the New York Stock Exchange to ring the bell. They were there last week, so I mean they're all kind of busy right now with that. Or at least my executive that I'm working with, he's busy because he's traveling with them. So they were in New York over the weekend. Basically, all the professional traders were taking like professional photos, and they were at the New York Stock Exchange. I was supposed to be there with them, but I just couldn't make it this week. I'm going to be there with the next group probably next month or this month or December. I don't know. They're having different groups go. Basically, the top 200 traders in the US, not just in the US, but everywhere. They're flying them into New York. We're all kind of meeting, collaborating, and then going to the New York Stock Exchange to ring the bell. I was shocked to see them actually go because I thought they were just bullshitting. I thought the executive that I was talking to was just kind of like telling me things to make me want to side with Apex and like partner with them. But yeah, I saw his Instagram stories over the weekend or last Friday, and they were actually there. So I guess Apex is trying to like do something with their top traders, which is cool. You don't see them do this stuff. Like typically you don't see them actually care about their traders. All right, my entry is not till 7:21, so we still got some time over here. We got a lot of time, honestly. I don't have anything to take right now. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. We are just waiting till my entry at 7:21. Yeah, so I mean, guys, this is the best part about having the algo here. Like I'm not really stressed out during these live sessions anymore. I can kind of just get up because I already did all my analysis the night before. So I'm just waiting for my trades to come up. Okay, we're starting to get the reversal right here, right? This is exactly what I was telling you guys about. So like I said, at 7:21, 7:23, this indicates that price is starting to, or it should start to reverse around this time because it's going against momentum. So we're starting to get the reversal right here. And hopefully by 7:21, this will continue down lower, basically to fill this gap. Let's go over to our main chart. So I'm gonna clean this up because obviously I don't care about these areas of liquidity anymore. I'll put up the new liquidity right here. There is a imbalance right here, pretty big one. For those of you who are looking at the imbalances. So we got an imbalance right there, and then there's also another imbalance right here, but the opposite direction. All right, so we got an imbalance here on both sides. We got an imbalance for a buy here, so this could be a possible break and retest off this structure, or this could be an imbalance right here where it breaks and retests off this structure, right? Again, this is why I was just saying earlier that like, the price action and the technical analysis here, it's there to confuse you because, if you don't have confidence in your bias or whatever, you're going to get confused, right? So for example, here you might be looking for an imbalance to the downside, but if you see this lower imbalance, this might confuse you. Vice versa, if you're looking for a break and retest off this imbalance and you're not confident with your buys here, then this imbalance is going to throw you off. That's why for me, I don't like looking at technical analysis anymore. I just like looking at the data. The data over here shows me that at this point in time, it starts to reverse. And Okay, wait, so never mind, I take that back. Looking at this over here now, because this is against momentum, what I'm looking for actually is I'm looking for price to push up and then reverse back up because this is against momentum. The problem with this here is that I'm aiming for a sell, right? So what I want to see here is I actually want to see a buy signal come up before 621 or 721. What I want to see here is I want to see this happen. Price push up, retrace, retrace, and continuation down. This is actually the pattern that I want to see right here at 721 because we're looking for a sell and I need it to be against momentum. So I need a buy signal to come up between now and 721. If a buy signal doesn't come up by then there's just not going to be an entry for me at 721. Rev said, "Hey Sean, so will folks who sign up now, will they always have access to the algo or will it be an upcharge for the monthly subscription?" So right now, it is currently just in the testing phase. So my hope is that whoever has use for this during the testing phase, you're going to make enough money where it doesn't really matter what the upcharge, right? Like you mentioned, I wasn't planning on releasing this to the public. So, I mean, this might not even be available to anyone else after, but whoever's testing it right now, they will continue to have access to it. There may be an upcharge at some point in the future. I mean, we're trying to see how profitable this is. Of course, I want it to make sense, right? If it's making everybody a lot of profit, then of course it makes sense to upcharge it. But if it doesn't make everybody profit, then there's no sense to upcharge it, right? So that's why the goal here is really to whoever's testing it, I want you guys to make as much profit as possible because I want you guys to be the proof of concept. There's about, let's see, how many people are testing it right now? So there's about 32 people who are currently testing the algo right now. So with this many people, I'm hoping that all of these people here that who have access to it, you guys are gonna make a crazy amount of profit, right? I want you to make a shit ton of profit. That's what my goal is here, so that it would make sense for me to upcharge for it, right? I'm not gonna upcharge it if it doesn't make sense. If everybody here is making, thousands of dollars per day using this algo, then yeah, it makes sense for it. But right now, it's all temporary access because I didn't initially plan on sharing this with the public. I mean, there's like what, 30 of you guys here. I'm okay with sharing it with like 30 of you guys, right? I'm not going to share it with like 100 people because then everybody's going to be profiting off my tool here, which I don't want to, I don't really want the case to be. But yeah, Rev, if you want access to it, you can get access to it now. I don't know how long this is going to be available to you guys, on the temporary basis, probably until the end of the year. I think from now until, so if you look at my stats for October, if we can have consistent months like this, where they're pretty much all green, like say we have all of October and it's like majority green, maybe like one red or a couple red, and then we go to November and it's all green, and we go to December and it's all green, then, everyone's made their money's worth. And, and then we'll kind of take it from there. But yeah, like I said, whoever has access to it now, you're going to have the ability to have access to it further. But later down the line, if someone random comes onto the stream and they're like, "Hey, I want access to that algo," I might not give access to them. It's only the people who are here right now who have been with us for a while. So yeah, it's important. If you guys want access to it, get on that temporary list because you're going to be grandfathered into the next phase of this, basically. And in the future, I'm looking to make more algos. So not just this algo, but I'm looking to make algos off my other strategies. This is based off the momentum. Maybe I'll make some more algos based off the pivots, make some algos based off the orb, algos based off a lot of other things. It's just right now I don't have time to build those algos right now. I think this is pretty incredible what we have so far. But in the future, yeah, I'm probably going to build more algos off my other strategies. So. All right, guys. Again, I'm looking for a buy signal here. I need a buy signal to come up because if we don't have a buy signal, we're not going to be able to get a sell here for the 620 or 721 entry. So again, let's look at my stats over here. For 721, it has a 52.90% probability of it winning. It has a 1 to 2 risk to reward. It's a target entry for me. It shows that 83.33% of the sells have won. And for the past Wednesdays, 2 out of the 3 entries have won here. So with that being the case, I'm looking for a sell here, but in order for me to get a sell, we need to get a buy signal because we can't go against momentum for a sell unless a buy signal comes up. Yeah, Talanji said, got to see how the algo survives and adapts through all this Trump drama. Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, the algo is doing pretty good with, the data that we have so far. So I'm expecting it to adapt with it pretty nicely. It's just going to be a matter of it's just going to be a matter of running the algo consistently over time. That's why it's really important that you guys base it off the probabilities because, there may be like a couple random days, right? There may be like maybe one or two random days out of the month where Trump might post something or a tariff news might come out or a war might break out or something like that. That's going to skew the data just a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit. If we have a whole month of crazy stuff happening, then okay, we're cooked, right? But it's not the case right now. So we'll see. Yeah, Stern said it proves news is a catalyst for the analysis. Yeah, I agree with you, sir, 100%. Let's see. David said I've done some testing on the algo with using the pivots. Nice. Yeah, so there's going to be other filters you can use, like David over here was using the pivots. Maybe if you trade with the direction momentum and stuff like that, that could help. But yeah, there's room for improvement. There's always going to be room for improvement. All right, we have a pending buy signal right here. I'm hoping that the buy signal closes. If it doesn't close, there's not going to be an entry here at 721. There's a pending buy signal there, though. It has about 20 seconds left on it. So I'm hoping that there closes and I can take this here for a sell. There we go. We need this buy signal here to close. Got about 10 seconds left on it. Oh, come on. Little push. Little push right there. All right, perfect. So this entry right here at 721 is going to be for a sell. Waiting for the candle here to close, and I'll be looking to get into this one. My glasses on real quick. Glasses aren't right. It's okay. I guess they're not going to work right now. All right, we got 20 seconds left on this candle right here. Looking to get into this here for a sell. Got about 15 seconds. Yeah, to charge them. Got about 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, let's see where the entry is at. So entry right
Order
here
filled.
is going to be at target is at 19. Stop is at 79. All right, so we'll see what happens here, guys. Again, I'm just basing it off the probabilities. They weren't like super, super great, but they did line up. All right, so we're in this position right here for a sell, guys. We took the 721 entry right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats again. So at 721, it is against momentum. It has a 52.94% probability of it winning overall. It's a 1 to 2 risk to reward, target entry for me. It has 83.33% probability of it winning for sells. It won 2 out of the 3 recent Wednesdays, so I'm aiming to take it for a sell here, which I'm currently in. It's currently running in profit right now, about 10 points. Looking good so far. And I'm just going to let the trade run. Some low volatility here. I don't think there's any news for the day. Let's see. Nothing until 8:30. So we might get a choppy sideways market here from now until then. But we'll kind of let this trade breathe and run through and kind of see what happens over the next few minutes. If the trade wins, great. If the trade doesn't win, it's fine. We took this trade in the direction of our probabilities. Let's go ahead and take a look again right here. So the probabilities over here for this is wrong setup. Where's the probabilities at? Okay, so here's the probabilities right here. So again, overall, 52.94%. Looking over here at the trade analysis, so it basically wins 36.36 percentage of the buys and 83.33% of the sells. So basically, 5 out of the 6 sells won, and 4 out of the 11 buys lost. So let the trade run through here. Again, if this stops us out, it's perfectly fine. We traded based off the probabilities here. If this doesn't hit, then I'm gonna look for the next one, which is at 735, which has they're all gonna be kind of low on the lower end. There's another sell coming up right here at 723. So actually, there's another one that's running right next to it. 723, which is right here. There's 2 sells running right now. This one's a little farther up. So looking at the one over here at 723, this one actually has a higher probability. So we got 2 sells running right next to each other. We got this one at 721, another one right here at 723. This is also against momentum. Probability for this overall is a 58.85 probability for it overall. Again, once it's risk reward, another target entry for me here. The wins are 75% probability for sells. It won 3 out of the 3 recent Wednesdays. So again, there's 2 entries running right next to each other for the sell here. 721 and 723. So probabilities are on our side. It's just depending on how far this here ends up, pushing down to and how long it takes for it to push down. Just looks a little choppy right now, of course. Volatility is a little low, currently at 23 ATR. Let's see how long does this usually take for it to hit. So it looks on average, it takes about a couple minutes, about like 5 minutes or so, sometimes longer, but usually around 5 minutes for it to push. It looks like the volatility here is just a lot lower than it usually is, because they typically hit within a minute's time. So entry at 721, exit at 723. There's some here that take about like 10 minutes, so that might be the case where the volatility here is just a little bit lower than usual. So now it's just a waiting game, waiting for this here to come down. We'll see where the volatility goes. I think once we get a sell signal here, it'll start to drop a little more, but overall right now it's just market's kind of flat and going sideways. And there's no catalyst in the market. There's no news. There's nothing really pushing price anywhere. So again, we really just want this sell signal here to come up. Once that sell signal comes up and it drops, I think price will follow. So it's in profit right now, of course. Looking over here, you can see my actual entry. I'm up about 120 right now, 200 in profit, starting to dump. We're getting that sell signal, 300 in profit. So here's my live P&L right there. All right, it's waiting for it to drop here. I'm in profit about 6 points. Man, I think these glasses, they only record for like a few seconds or like maybe a minute because they keep disconnecting. I'll try to turn it back on as we get closer down. But again, the volatility here is very low. Again, some choppy movement. I'm looking for that sell signal. Once the sell signal here comes up, then gonna anticipate that drop. But right now, the sell signal is just kind of pending. All right, got that sell signal right there again, pending. So we actually have, let's go back to our main chart. So we got price break, basically breaking retesting off the imbalance right there. So for those of you who are using structure, you have a break and retest right there off the imbalance. This actually is a good analysis here if you're using technical analysis, because we do have break and retest right here off the imbalance and possibly drop to this next imbalance, which is going to be in the favor of our trade here, right? I'm in profit about 300 right now. But like I said, the volatility here is just very, very low. So Let's continue to watch it here as price moves along. ATR is currently at 22, so I'm hoping like, obviously based off the structure here and based off the time. So around like 731, price tends to see it's currently 729. So basically in the next 2 minutes, we're expecting a drop to happen here. Usually doesn't run past 730. Looking at the data, we're in profit about 20 points. We're almost halfway over our profit target. I'm in profit 680 right now, 720. You can see my live profits right here. It's dropping down pretty all right. We got that sell signal there, which is currently pending. So I'm in profit about 20 points so far. We're just waiting for the volatility here to pick up. We need that sell signal. So that sell signal there is currently pending. Again, we're looking for that sell signal there to close. Once it closes, I think it'll start to get some more of that momentum to the downside. But right now, it's just kind of taking a while. 731 right now. So this trade's running longer than it usually does. Typically, this trade, the longest that we've seen over the previous month is it usually runs until 730. So usually by this candle or the next one, it usually hits. But this is going to be a longer than the normal move here. Yeah, because I'm looking at the data here. It usually hits by 730. Yesterday, it hit at 730. All right. Now we wait. See the next entry. So we have another entry actually coming up over here at 733. Yeah, so I'm waiting for this right here. I'm hoping we get a sell signal before 733 because 733 is going to be with momentum. So we obviously want the momentum to come to the downside. This trade is running longer than usual though. There hasn't been a trade at 721 where this trade ran past 730. So this might be a problem for us because due to the low volatility, this doesn't align with the data here. This trade should have hit already by now. So if it stops me out, it's fine. But we're still holding on to it here. Looks like I got stopped out.
Stop filled.
All right, it's all good. This trade ran for too long, guys. If you look at the data over here, it's fine. This is one of those outlier trades because if you look over here, basically they hit at 723, 723, 725, 730, 723, 726. They don't usually run for this long. The problem is the volatility is too low right now. It's at 21 ATR. Like I said, not every day is going to be the same. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes all the way back down. But yeah, this trade over here unfortunately was a loss. There's another trade coming up right here at 733. This is going to be a buy. It's going to be with momentum. So I might hop into this one here. Took a loss on that first one right there. I'll have another opportunity here to maybe jump back in. Momentum here is for a buy, and we'll see. But the volatility here is pretty low, like as you guys can see here. So I'm going to try to get into this next one. At 735. All right, so like I said, guys, I'm doing a 1 to 2 risk reward. The loss here wasn't a big deal because I won the trade yesterday, so we're still in profit overall for the week, and this is going to be my opportunity to possibly get back in. So this next trade over here is going to be for a buy at 733. Be with momentum. See, the thing I don't like about this is the fact that the probabilities here are kind of low. All right, this candle is going to close in about 20 seconds. And it looks like we just got stopped out and it's about to hit target right now. Horrible luck on that trade. I'm gonna hold off on this one. I just realized that the 735 one is not on my it's not on my target list. So this one right here at 735, it's not one of my targeted trades. My next targeted trade is gonna be at 751. So I'll be looking to get into that one a little later. It's gonna be for a sell. Yeah, look at our trade here, guys. What horrible luck. It looks like it literally came up, it just stopped us out, and it came all the way back down to target. So if you guys took the 733 trade, this one actually hit full TP right there. And this one over here, it just like literally just tapped our stop loss and it came all the way down to target. So it's unfortunate. It was an unlucky trade there. Yeah, it's just one of those trades where just stop loss is just a little too tight, just a little bit. The next entry I'm looking to get into is gonna be right here at 751. It's my next target entry. All right, let's update it. It's gonna be with momentum. Yeah, so these trades ran alongside each other. Unfortunately, the one that I took right here at 721, it literally just came up, stopped me out, and then came right back down to target. The one at 723 actually hit. So let me put this over here real quick, and then I will. Nice, nice. It's Talanji actually got it. Nice work on catching that right there, Talanji. It just depends on like where your entry was. I set mine based off whatever the statistics were. So we took one loss for the day, and then there's another win. So basically, 7:21 a.m. This was a loss for me specifically. This is a -1R, not that bad of a loss. And then 7:23, the one after it. Unfortunately, this one, oh, well, fortunately, but unfortunately for me, it won. So plus 2R. Okay, so 6R, 8R is basically 4 wins, 1 loss. This is a 7R for the day. If you took every trade that we identified. I mean, it looks like we're just caught in chop here, unfortunately. The market's chopping right now. There's not really too much going on here. Based on the historical data, it usually doesn't chop around this time, but today it is chopping right now. So the next entry that I'm looking for is going to be a little later right here at 751. It's going to be the next one that I'm looking to get into. Let's see. Navy said, not sure why I lost on this one. Yes, it was 40-20. It looks like your entry might have been off by maybe a point, Navy. I think that's the only thing I can think of why you got stopped out early. Either way, I got stopped out too, just by a point, basically. Got stopped out by a point and came right back down. The thing is, like I said earlier, guys, we're doing a 1 to 2 risk to reward, so it's not a big deal, right? I take a loss. If I make the next trade, I'll make back the loss, and then I'll make profit on top of it. Same with the trade that we took on yesterday, right? So yesterday we took a win. I'm still in profit for the week. Overall, my stats for the week are still green. It's just for this specific trade, it was a loss. So here, I'll show you guys real quick, or I'll just take a screenshot of my profits for the day. And this is why it's important that you guys, well, you don't have to, but for me personally, I think it's important why we use a 1 to 2 because it's okay taking losses, right? You can take loss and you'll make it right back on the next trade. And when you do take a loss, it's not really going to hurt very much. We were pretty deep in profit though. We were almost 1,000 in profit. It's just I'm following my strategy and I'm taking it to full loss or full win to be consistent, of course. All right, so trade is still currently running right here to the downside. Like I said, the target entry for me is going to be at 751. That's going to be my last entry for the day. Let's see. Question from Talisha. Talisha is asking, can you look at the 100 tick chart? Unfortunately, I can't. I don't have tick data on my chart for TradingView at least. There's no tick data here. So if I try to go to ticks, I'll go to the main chart over here. If I try to go to ticks here, it's not going to let me. Yeah. I mean, eventually I'm probably going to update to the ultimate, but I don't really need the tick data, so I don't upgrade to it. So yeah, unfortunately I don't have that there. So looking at the imbalance here, it looks like it just spiked us out because it came into the imbalance to basically wipe out the sellers with the tight stop loss, and it came right back down to where we were expecting, right down to the lower imbalance. Let's see. Navy said, sorry, I sent that before you lost as well. The delay on YouTube got me a minute and 1 and 30 seconds behind. Oh gosh, you Navy. Yeah. It should only be a minute delay. If it's delaying further, just refresh your YouTube and you should be able to have it at least at a minute, if not lower. Let's see. Hadas is asking, can you tell me about the 733? When did you get in? And also, where exactly do I see in Ninja? 733. So I didn't take the 733 entry right here on us. This wasn't one of my or actually no, sorry, I did take 733. All right. No, I didn't. So I actually didn't take the 733. I got in at the 721. I couldn't get into it because I was already in a position at the time. Yeah. Because I don't double up on my position. So I did have that listed right there, but I didn't take it for myself because it I was running in this one over here at 721. Okay, yeah. So the 721 entry, Hadas is asking, can you tell me about that? I got in at the close of the 721 candle. So right here, let me just highlight it real quick. Okay, yeah. So for this over here at 721, this is the entry that I took, right? Basically, I waited until 721 came up. I was looking to get in against momentum. So the momentum here was bullish. And then as soon as the 721 candle closed, I entered. So that's why the markup is right here on the 722 candle. Basically, as soon as the 721 candle closed, I entered for that sell, and then I held on to it. The reasoning behind it is that we had a 52.94% probability of it hitting overall. It was for a 1 to 2 risk reward. The reason why I took a sell there specifically was because we had an 83.33% probability of it winning for sells. Like I said, we don't have 100%. You're never going to be 100% with regards to the trades, but the probabilities were in my favor. That's why I took the sell there. Unfortunately for our trade here, though, it went sideways for a little too long. The data here show that it never runs this long. And it usually hits within the first couple minutes, but this over here, it pretty much came up, stopped us out, and then it went straight down to its target. So yeah, this over here, that's the analysis for the trade at 721. So whenever you see a time right here, Hadas, it's gonna be on the close of that candle. So like for example, we have another entry right here at 751, which is gonna come up. I'm gonna wait for that 751 candle to close, and then as soon as it closes, that's where I'm gonna jump in for a buy. Or not a buy, but jump in for that trade specifically. So, and second part to your question, you're asking also, where exactly do I see a ninja? So I'm trying to figure out like what's your question about ninja? Like, how do you enter, or are you looking for it on your chart? Because you'd have the YM chart open and then you just enter with the market order. So for example, when this candle here closed, I entered for a market sell. I just waited for the candle close, got in at exact entry, and then got out basically. Man, I'm like looking back at it, I'm like, damn, if I had like one more point or two more points, whatever, like, or if I did a 25-50, would have survived the move. But I can't think back like that. I'm going for the 20-40, keeping my stop super tight. Um, it would have survived the move though. So yeah, Rev said it's a 90-second behind even after the refresh. Yeah, it's a little delayed. I mean, if you guys want access to the real time, you can get access to the Zoom. Just go on the website. It's CodyKaiTrades.com. Go to live trading room right here, and you'll get access to the real-time Zoom. Yeah, Sam City has same 1 to 1.5 minute delay on YouTube. So I'm not taking Sean's algo. Three wins already, waiting for a 46,950 sell or back to open buy. Nice. Okay, cool. So Sam is looking to he's looking to ride this back to open, it looks like. So that's solid. Where's the opening price at? It's pretty far off, right? Yeah, it's super far off actually. It's like way down here. So this is opening price. All right, guys, I'm just waiting for 751 here. It's 744 right now. We have another entry right here at 743. It doesn't meet my criteria, but if you guys want to take it, I mean, feel free. This is going to be against momentum. So it's not one of my target entries. It is one of the entries here that I have listed. It has a, here, let me change the, or I'll leave it as is. So I already have the data here. It doesn't matter. I don't need to pull it up. Basically at 743, this is going to be against momentum. Right now, we currently have a bullish momentum signal. So if that's the case and it stays bullish, then it's going to be a sell entry. It has a 52.94% probability of it winning overall, 1 to 2. Win rate for buys are going to be 71.43%. It won 2 out of the 3 recent Wednesdays. So that's going to be the probabilities right there for that specific entry at 743. So if you want to take it, you want to aim for a buy. Right now it's for a sell, but if you get a sell signal, it's going to flip to a buy. The one that I'm actually looking to take here is going to be at 751 though. So 751, this one has a higher probability. It kind of lines up more with what I'm looking for. Like I said, this over here has a 64.71% overall probability of it winning. Like I said, for the overall probability, I tend to, it needs to have at least a 60 to be on the list and then above a 65 for it to be on my target entry. But because here it has an 85.713% probability of it winning for a sell, then it kind of balances out because we already have a pretty decent high win rate overall. But if you couple that with the sell win rate, you can see here it won 3 out of the 3 recent Wednesdays. So if it does come up for a sell, I'll be looking to take that trade there. Hopefully it comes up and then hopefully it hits. If that's the case and it comes up, then I'll be looking to um, I'll be looking to ride this with momentum. So I'm gonna step away for 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Grab some water. All right, guys, I'm back. So looking at this here, it's starting to look good. So I'm hoping the sell signal holds. Looking back at that 743 entry, so 743 right here, it was against momentum. It didn't meet the criteria that I was looking for specifically because, yeah, it just didn't meet the criteria that we're looking for that one. Um, the next one's gonna be right here at 751. So I'm hoping the sell signal here holds. So I'm hoping that there's no buy signal which comes up between now and 751. Because I'm looking to take a sell here. In order for me to take a sell, it has to hold with the sell signal right there. Rev is asking, I must have missed it. Why are you wearing glasses? So these glasses are the Meta Ray-Ban Gen 2 glasses. They record. So what I'm doing is I'm recording the trade and the analysis point of view. I'm trying to see like how it looks and how it works. You know, if it's something that I want to do in the future, then I'll keep it, but we'll see. We'll see what it ends up looking like. I know it's weird because I don't wear glasses. So I used to wear glasses before. So if you guys were trading with me back in 2022, I used to wear glasses, but I got LASIK. You know, once I started making money trading, I was like, I'm gonna get LASIK, and I did. So I actually have LASIK. I have like 20/20 vision. I don't need glasses. Yeah, these aren't real ones. Uh they're just for show, basically for show. All right, guys, we got this trade coming up right here. So let's do another analysis of this here, of course. You guys can hear Lena, she's awake. Getting ready for a morning. All right, we got about 20 seconds until 7:51. I'll be looking to get in here for a sell. In about 5 seconds. All right, guys, 7:51. We got this entry coming up right here. Again, looking over at my stats and my probabilities for the day. The 7:51 entry is going to be with momentum. We currently have a sell momentum over here. Probability for this trade is 64.71 overall. 1 to 2 risk to reward. My target entry win ratio for the sells is going to be at 85.73 probability of it winning. So it won 3 out of the 3 recent Wednesdays. And I'll be looking to get into this here for a sell as soon as the candle closes. Got about 20 seconds left on this right here. So see what we got. Daniel said it's in confluence with MPS V2. Perfect. All right, we have the candle closing in about 10 seconds. Candle closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. It's this first sell right there. See where this is going to be
Order
here.
filled.
So let's see. Target is at 53. And stop is at 13. All right, got the trade running right there. It's based off my probabilities, whether it wins or it loses, completely fine. Just gonna let the trade run now. So again, looking over here at the stats, it has a 64.71 probability of it winning, whether it be for a buy or a sell. And then on top of that, we went deeper into the analysis here. It has a 85.71 probability of it winning for a sell, 50% probability for a buy. So probabilities are looking good for the most part. Looking over here at the most recent trade, so we'll go back to October, I think 8th, I believe. Or no, it was the 9th, I think. Let's see. First, yeah, so October 8th, which it was a win. October 1st, which it was also a win. And then September 24th, which was also a win. So it basically won every previous Wednesday for both buys and sells. And this trade typically runs for about, let's see, this trade ran for about 7 minutes. So about 7:57 is like the time period. Sometimes it runs past 8 o'clock. So usually 7:53, 7:56, 8:06. Sometimes, just kind of depends on the volatility in the market. But we'll see what happens here as price continues to move along. Again, like I said, I took this trade based off the probabilities. Whether this trade wins or whether it loses, it's not going to affect my analysis at all. We're basing this directly off the numbers. So the trade's currently running in profit about 12 points. Here's my actual chart over here. I'm in profit about 280, 440. It's dropping down pretty nice. Looks like if we does drop down any lower target price points, looking like it's going to wipe out this imbalance and then possibly come down to the sessions right here. The New York high. It's like target area for it to drop down to. So you got the sell running right there. I'm in profit about 320 right now at the moment. And we'll see where this goes. Let me see if there's any other technicals or price action that I should identify on the chart. This imbalance lines up with the resistance, so I don't need to change that. There's an imbalance right here, but it's a really small one. And then we have another imbalance here for a sell. So I'm in profit about 520 right here, 600. I'm in profit 15 points, almost halfway to my target for 40. Again, I'm just letting the trade run, not making any adjustments here, no stop loss and profit, none of that stuff. Just letting the trade do what it needs to do. And we're just following it here from a distance. Again, looking at the trade history over here, this trade sometimes runs until 8 o'clock. It's 7:55 right now. So let's see what's the latest time that it usually runs to. The latest time is about 8:12. So this trade could run for a while. 8:12 is usually that's the longest time this trade is held for. Within the previous month. We're in profit 20 points right now, guys, on our way down further. I'm in profit 720 as we speak. Looking for this to come down. Grab liquidity over here down past this lower low. It's on its way down right now in profit about 800. So I pretty much recouped my loss from the last trade. So far back in profit for the day. There we go. Almost 900 in profit right there. 1,000 in profit. There's my running P&L for this specific account. It's coming down to grab this liquidity right here at this lower low. Ideally, I'd like it to push down to the New York high right there. So I'm in profit 25 points, 26 points, more than halfway to my target so far. Drop it down a little further, 30 points in profit, 31. About 1,300 in profit right there. Let's grab liquidity. Again, we're almost at our target profit right there below. About 30 points in profit. We're almost there. Like I said, it takes time for this trade to hit. The longest that it's held for is until 8:12. So we're still ahead of time right here. But we're dropping down right there, little to no drawdown at all. And again, just waiting for this to breathe. So if you guys like to trade inverse fair value gaps, this is an inverse that's starting to set up right now. Looks like it's going to break and retest off this imbalance and continue down lower. That's going to be an inverse fair value gap for those of you who trade that pattern. It's going to be in confluence with our position here. So again, I'm trading off the data here, guys. I'm not really using price action or technical analysis. We're just looking at it from a confluence perspective, but not something that we specifically use. But it's looking good though. I'm in profit about 1,300, it looks like almost. We're on our way to our target, 30 points. It's about 10 points, 33 points in profit, about 7 points away from our full TP of 40. So I'm going to drop down a little further. Like I said, I'm looking for it to reach down to the New York high right here. Not touching the position, just letting it do what it needs to do. Almost there, guys. Almost there. A little over 30 points in profit. Barack said he already chickened out once it took liquidity. It's all good. Like I said, I'm holding this position until full move. Not closing out early, not moving stop loss and profit, just letting the trade kind of run through. CJ said his TP already hit. Did you get in for a discount, CJ, I'm assuming? Didn't reach 40 points for me. I got close to it, but not quite. Again, if this trade hits, great. If it doesn't hit, that's perfectly fine as well. I'm trading off the probabilities here, not pulling out early. The only thing that I'm not really concerned about, but like the market here has been pretty choppy for the past couple, the past couple moves here. Like since our trade over here at 721, it's really choppy, right? Choppy back and forth movement right there. So it's kind of like what's happening here too. Sometimes this trade runs and it hits earlier. Sometimes it runs and it hits later. But from our data over here for the past month, the latest that it's ran to is about 812. And that was on October 2nd. Yeah, so October 2nd. Again, I'm just letting the trade run. I'm not going to pull it early because I'm letting the trade kind of do what it needs to do based off the data. Not pulling early. Again, if it hits my TP, great. If it hits my stop loss, that's perfectly fine. Again, we're going off the data here. In order for our probability and our win ratio and everything will kind of line up with what the data presents, you need to let the trade run, whether it hits stop loss or whether it hits TP. I might be off by like 1 point, but it's not very much because technically the entry would have been off this right here, the close of this candle. So technically it'd be off by like 1 point. Not a huge deal, but yeah, there we go. As price comes back down. Again, like I said, letting the trade do what it needs to do. It's coming down right there at 8 o'clock. Reaching down to its target. I'm in profit 1,200 right there. It's gonna come down, likely grab liquidity right there, and then hopefully push down to the New York high right there, the session high. I mean, we still got time. Like I said, this trader will run until 11 or 8:12. It's 8:01 right now. I'm in profit about 1,300, 1,400 on its way to target. Almost there. It grabbed liquidity again right there. I was hoping it was going to blast right through the liquidity and just hit our target. But like I said, this trade here is we're in a chop right now. Price kind of going back and forth. But I'm letting the trade breathe. Just letting it do what it needs to do. Whether it takes the full 812 to hit or if it hits right away. I mean, just letting the trade do what it needs to do. This is usually why I don't like trading at the top or the bottom of the hour because you start to get a lot of this back and forth movement. You get this increased volatility, some price manipulation a little bit, because a lot of people like to trade on the top or the bottom of the hour. And there we go as it drops back. All right, we're in this chop right now. Market is chopping up back and forth, back and forth. We almost got to our target there. We were in profit. Well, I mean, let's see. We got down about 37 points. So we were 3 points away from our 40-point target right there. Yeah, Sam said, oh, the drama just come down already. Yeah, we're just stuck in this chop right now. Still 13 points in profit right now. So I mean, it's looking pretty decent. Again, I'm looking for this to come grab that liquidity. Grab that, or not grab the liquidity, but blast through the liquidity and then shoot down to either, opening price down here or the New York session high. I don't have any trades listed after 8 o'clock, so I'm not really looking at anything past that. But we'll see. All right, again here, price is kind of just going back and forth like we said. There we go. We're dropping back down into profit. Let's see if it goes and blasts through liquidity finally this time. We're on our way down in profit 1,200. Let's just blast through the liquidity and go to our target. That's all we want to see right here. If it goes any further, yeah, it can reach probably the New York high, but I would like it to just blast through liquidity right there and hit our target. And profit 1,200, 1,300. Let's go past that liquidity right there. All right, I'm in profit 30 points. Oh man, again, we're stuck in the chop. I hate holding on to these positions for that long, but we still got time. So like I said, the stats over here show that this trade will sometimes run until 8:12. That is perfectly fine. We still got like 10 minutes or so for it to reach that point. See, our trade over here ran past that limit, right? The limit over there was like, a few minutes in. At least here we have like some time for price to kind of breathe a little bit. We're not going past the month threshold, basically. If we get a sell signal here, I think that'd be perfect. That sell signal will push it right through. But again, I'm not touching the trade. Just letting it run. Again, it's sitting at that lower imbalance. It's got to see that sell signal. All right, there we go again. Price is pushing down again. There we go. Just come down, push through the liquidity, go straight to our target, pending sell signal. Again, if the sell signal here closes, I think this is going to be a good sign. Well, we need that sell signal there to close so that I can continue dropping from where it's currently at. 8:05 right now. Let's go sell signal. Let's get that sell signal closed. All right, 35 points in profit. Almost there. 33. There we go. Oh my gosh. Every time it grabbed liquidity right there again. So again, it grabbed liquidity but didn't blast through it. I'm looking for it to blast right through. There's a lot of liquidity sitting right here. Daniel said, "Holy blue balls, LOL." I know. We're waiting for that there. It's waiting for that sell signal to come up. It's pending. It's almost there, guys. Almost there in profit, about 33 points. Like I said, if that sell signal there comes up and it closes, I think it's going to push right through. It just needs to close. Low volatility. Volatility needs to pick up. It's 8:06. Volatility is pretty low. There we go. Push through liquidity. Again, the sell signal there again is pending. It keeps pushing to the through the liquidity right there. And we just needed a few more points past 1,300 in profit right there. It's 8:06. We got 6 minutes till 8:12. So we still got some time. Again, threshold is going to be at 8:12 right there. It's almost on its way to target. We're just looking for that sell signal there to close. Profit 1,300. 38 points in profit. I'm 2 points away. There we go. 40 points. Let's go get me out of this. And is it too far out? I'm like,
Order filled.
okay, I'm just gonna get out
Order
of it.
filled.
Uh, yeah, I got into like a little bit of some issue there. I mean, it looks like it hit my target, but it didn't close me out on all my accounts. It's okay. I pulled out right there. Made pretty decent profit. So what happened here was I recouped my loss completely, and then I made some profit on top of it. I wasn't gonna risk it, guys. It hit the target already, so I wasn't gonna risk it. Anyways, trade right there, 7:51 a.m. Win for so today total. Great day, guys. We had a lot of wins here, just one loss. That was a plus 2R based off the data right there. Did exactly what we expected, right? 40 points. Perfect. Played out perfect. There we go. All right. Great profits, guys. Amazing day today. Not amazing. Okay. Great day. Good day. Just a good day because I took a loss, so not a great day. If I took all the trades here, it would have been great because this would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins, one loss. Amazing day overall, though. 9R for the day. That's a huge day. If I took every single trade, it would have been 9R. This thing might even come down further, but I wasn't going to risk it. I'll take a screenshot of my profits here. So let me go over here real quick and I will stats. I'm just going to screenshot my. Let me just back this up a little bit. All right. Screenshot the trades for today. Bada bing, bada boom. Take a screenshot of. So the good thing is I closed the day in the green. I mean, that's what I was aiming for today. Every day I try to close the day out in the green. That's my main goal, really. Um, I mean, today would have been if I had if the two wins would have happened today, that'd have been amazing, right? But you can't win them all. Like you can't have everything, right? So we based our trades off the probabilities, played out perfect, and then let me take a screenshot of my P&L real quick. Okay, so let me go ahead and I mean the trade's still running right now. It's probably if you guys didn't get pulled out at target, it's probably gonna come down and still hit your target. Like I said, it runs until 8:12, so it has some time there. Let me go over here and post this in my official profits. Where are we at? Okay, so here are my trades right there. Um, Here, I'll try to list these over here real quick. Let me just put the list of trades there. So 6 o'clock was, I'll just list these so that you guys know what to follow in the future or if you guys are curious. Because I know some of you guys like to look back at the previous trades. So 6:35 was also a win. 6:47 also a win. 7:21 was a loss. 6:23 was a win. And then 6:51 was a win. Okay, perfect. So I got all the trades listed right here. These are all the trades that came up for today. And then here are my actual profits from that. I'll update my Trader Sync as well. So that you guys, let me do that right now. Actually, the Trader Sync's it's gonna take some time for me to update it or for it to sync over my trades. If you guys have any questions, I do see some questions there, so I'll answer them shortly. Let me just finish getting this situated because the Trader Sync takes forever for it to update my trades for the day. Okay, so if you guys held on to it longer, it still would have came down and hit. It hit exactly at, look at the time, guys. So I said the cutoff for the entries at 8:12. It literally ran until 8:12. Basically, but it did perfect, right? Our trade here lined up exactly with the numbers. This is the power of trading with probabilities, guys. So, I trade quantitatively now. I don't use price action. I don't use technical analysis. You could see why. Like, why would I need technical analysis if I have all this here, right? It's perfect. Lines up with me right on the dot. If you guys trade technical analysis, that's perfectly fine. But for me, this is way easier than trading technical analysis. I don't have to guess, right? There's no discretion here, really. I just take the trades as they come up. But anyways, here are my obviously the trades. Let me just copy over my profits real quick here. Yeah, this algo is honestly, I'm still mind blown that I came up with this. Like, I feel like this has unlocked so much potential for us here. Okay, so here are my profits. These are the profits I locked in. Like I said, this is including the loss. So I had a loss plus a win on top of that. Um, which I'm happy with, right? I'll take what I can get, of course. So again, here are my profits for the day. Pretty decent day for me right there. Obviously, this would have been closer to 1,000 per account, but I took the loss on the first trade, and then I took the win on the other trade. So it's uh it's a fair trade for me here, basically. So here are all of my accounts. I mean, it would have been nice. Yeah, of course, it'd be a lot nicer if I had 1,000 in profit over here, but I'm not, I can't complain. I'm happy that I'm in the green for the day. I'm happy that I'm in the green for the week. Again, we're going to run this back tomorrow based on the probabilities. Hopefully, I can add more trades and more profits to my accounts. for this here. So let's see. I have all my trades here, all my profits. Let me go and take a look at the questions. So great profits over here, guys. I'm just seeing the messages right now. Let's see. All right, one second, guys. Okay. All right. Rosalina, I had to go get my daughter real quick. She was rolling around in her crib. And baby girl, say hi to everybody. You want to see our profits for the day? Look at them. Ooh, look at those numbers. Killed it. Even with the loss, we killed it. But all right, let me see the questions over here real quick before I get off for the day. So let's scroll down real quick. Um, yeah, so Ryan hit his full TP. Chris said, nice work, Sean. That was a lot of drama. It really was. Talanji said, good call, good analysis, great day. Yeah, definitely. Ben got it, full TP. Lila got it too. Here's Lila's profit. She locked in 1,124. So nice work right here, Lila. See, I'll put this over here in the Discord. This is Lila's profits. Again, so Lila's been killing it, guys. You guys can see over here, Lila posts her profits every day. Yesterday she locked in 1,500. Today she locked in 1,124. And then we got Brock over here as well. Brock also killed it. Nice work, Brock. So Brock over here locked in. Oops. All right, baby girl, hold on one second. She's getting hungry. I'm gonna have to feed her after this. Okay, here's Brock's profits. He locked in 615 on his first account, 1,254 on the second, and 290 on the third. Great work, Brock. Let me scroll down a little lower. CJ said next week I'm going to take every high target entry on one of my accounts. I've developed enough trust in the algo to forward test with no emotions. Yeah, that's gonna be great. Um, yeah, Ben said a way to hold that trade, Sean. Yeah, I wish I held it. Well, I mean, most of these hit for full TP. I think it's just my main account over here, or one of my accounts, to which I had to pull out for partial because it was kind of messing around for a bit. But yeah, great day overall. Let me check the other chat real quick. Hey Sam, yeah, definitely. Sam said, "Good Lord, glad you pulled out. I was about to faint." Kidding. I think it was your commentary, but good one. Yeah, definitely. Uh, Rev said my nerves couldn't take it. I got out for 38 points. Nice for Rev. 2 points not gonna make or break your trade. Hadas over here said, I'm sorry for asking, but I don't understand the 723. I lost on 725 when it was at 876. How come everyone stayed in there? The max was sorry, I'm like confused about what happened with you there. You said you lost. The thing is, we didn't take the 735 trade. It wasn't my target entry. It was just one of the entries that were listed here. But see all the ones that I plan on taking, they say target entry on them. So I think the 735 did lose, but I didn't take that trade there. Because let's see, 735 was with momentum, so it was a buy. Yeah, it was a buy entry, but it didn't meet the criteria for my entry here for it to be an actual target entry. The ones that say target entry are the ones that I actually plan on taking. The ones that don't have target entry, those are just confluence entries. So like for example, if I was in at the 733 entry, which did win over here, right? For the 733, if it was to like basically I'd use that as a confluence. If I'm already in a position, I would like the trade to continue in that direction. But these weren't trades that I was expecting to take. Um, I don't think anybody else took it either. I think you might have been the only one if you took that trade there. I didn't even mark it up here because I wasn't planning on taking that trade. But yeah, I mean, if you want me to dig deeper into it, I can, but it wasn't an entry that I planned to take. The only ones I took care of the ones that I have marked up and the ones that I have that we called out. Like this was the main one because the thing is, I took this trade over here at 721 and that one lost, right? So I lost that trade right there, and then it lost at like 733, so I couldn't get into the 733 trade. And then the 735 one, like I didn't even bother looking at that one at all. Actually, no, the 735 one, oh yeah, so like looking at this right here, let me just scroll in real quick. So the 735, it wouldn't even be one that I'd be looking to take because if you look over here, so you just read what I have put here. 735, it was supposed to be with momentum. Let me just move this line over so you can see the 735. So it was for a sell right here, right? The 735 entry was for a sell. And if you look at my notes here, I said if you're to take this, aim for a buy, but it wasn't a buy entry. So even if this was one that I was planning on taking, I wouldn't have taken it because it didn't meet criteria. However, if you took the sell here, I mean, well, I mean, you just wouldn't take the sell because it didn't line up with the criteria here. But yeah, for the 735, I don't know if you took a buy or a sell. The chart, the bias was for a buy, but it was a sell entry that came up. So let's go over to that trade real quick. 735. Let's look at the probabilities. This will kind of show you why I wouldn't have taken the buy here, even if, or I mean, I wouldn't have taken the sell here, even if it came up. So let's go over here real quick. I think it was with momentum, right? 735 with momentum. Okay, so let me explain to you real quick. It updated. So this is already a red flag for me. It doesn't have above a 60%, so it's not even supposed to be on the list to begin with. And then the overall profitability, it should be above 60 or 65, but now we look at the trade analysis here. And you can see over here for the shorts, this is like a big reason why I wouldn't have taken that, right? That was a short position entry right there, but it only has a 37.50% win ratio. So the thing is the win ratio here is already low. It's at 55. And if you couple that with the sell here, it actually even drops even lower. It's like below a 50. So that trade altogether for a sell would just be horrible entry. Probabilities would be completely against you. That's why I was only looking for a buy there. But because it wasn't a buy, I decided not to take it. Well, I didn't decide not to take it. There just wasn't an entry there for me. So um, I think that's pretty much all I can cover. Let's see. Hada said I2 is 721. Um, I mean, you must be doing something wrong, Hada, because the 721 did lose, but the 723 for sure won. I'll show you. Let's go back over here. Let me delete this. See the 723 entry? This one for sure won. So I don't know how you lost on that one there. Are you taking trades based off like when I'm saying them on the live, or are you taking trades based off the actual time? Because if you're taking trades based off the live, like when I'm saying it, your live session is delayed by a minute and a half, so you're a minute and a half late. That's probably why you lost for those trades. Because for sure, you shouldn't have lost the 723. Like there's no way you could have lost this one because it didn't go to the target. Unless you entered really bad. But even if you entered really bad, your target, I mean, you should have your settings still set up properly, right? The numbers are set up on the chart. So I'm not sure if you're entering based off when I'm saying that I'm going to enter or that I'm calling them out on the live session. If you're doing that, then you're off by like a minute and a half. Uh, if you want to have it real time, you have to be on the Zoom because the Zoom is real time. There's no delay, but on the YouTube, there's a delay by about a minute. Some people are saying it's about a minute and a half, but it's for sure at least a minute. Um, And that's probably why you can't respond to me real time either, because you're responding to my questions, but you're I don't think you're getting my response until like a minute later. Yeah, Sam said it might be because of the spreads. Um, yeah, I'm not sure why you keep deleting your messages, Haras. I already responded to it, so you don't have to delete it because I already saw it and responded back to it. I know you're a Lod's friend. Maybe you want to talk to a lot about it because maybe he could explain to you a little better. Yeah, maybe you can explain to your friend a lot. Because I'm not like the only thing that I can see why he might be getting in where he might be losing these trades is because he's getting in like a minute late. Gosh, okay. So Sam said he's saying he took the 721 and it hit stop loss 3 minutes later, where the rest of the people were still in it. Yeah, so like what Sam said, it might be the spreads or it might be his entry, right? Because if he entered a minute late, then he would have gotten in like down here, and then his entry would suck, right? Because yeah, you'd probably stop you out. But again, if it's because of the spreads, like what Sam said, it's the same thing. Because if you entered because of the spreads, you get some slippage and you'd still be down here. So it could be the spreads or it could be his entry time. But yeah, I want to help you out. If you want to go more into detail about it, feel free. I'm here to answer your questions. Um, but I'm not in contact with you. You have to like if you message me on Discord, I can talk to you one on one. We can kind of figure it out. But I think it's because you're entering late. That's the only thing I can think of. I think you might be just entering late because you're on the YouTube, so YouTube is delayed by about a minute and a half. Everyone else is on the Zoom, so they have like real time. Unless you have the tools, if you have the algo yourself, you can kind of just take the trades on your own. You don't have to base it off when I'm getting in. But yeah, I think that might be it. But all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to message me on Discord. Otherwise, I mean, today was a great day overall, guys. So 6 o'clock win right there. Oh, that's what I was gonna check. So I was gonna check my trader sync. 1 second. Let me just update or let me check my trader sync real quick. Move this over. Refresh real quick. But yeah, Hades, if you want to continue on, I mean, feel free to put you can keep responding. I'm still here. But I'm just updating my trader sync here real quick with all of my trades for the day. And I don't know why this always happens. This is always it's kind of annoying that on my trader sync when it updates, it always gives me like one of these days keeps getting screwed for some reason. Here, let me just fix this real quick. I feel like it's double uploading some of these days. It's okay, I'm gonna fix this. Well, shit, I don't know what happened there, but okay. So I think I have all of my profits here. Alrighty, I think we're good. Why is it doing this? Okay, whatever. I have my trades here already up synced. So let me just reading orders. It seems like it's like doubling up on my personal account. Okay, whatever. Let me just drag this over real quick. You guys are still here, so let me go over here and drag this over. These are my stats for the month so far, or for the day. I just wanted to see what I got for the day. So for the day, I locked in 16,375. So this is including the loss. If I didn't take a loss today, I would have made 34,000. This is what it normally would be. But because I took a loss, I had to recoup the loss and then I made profit on top of it. So I covered the loss, then I also made more profit on top. So a total profit of 16,375 for the day. Not too bad. So that's where I am for the day. And then for the year so far, I'm currently at 955,435. With this right here, our goal is to make 1 million by the end of the year. I think this is very possible, as long as we have some more good days here moving forward. I think we're in a very, very, very good position to reach that 1 million by the end of the year. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, today was a great day, guys. Solid day overall. And I think we're solid. Yeah, CJ said 4 entries, 3 wins, 1 loss. Today was great. I think that the 1 minute will definitely be hit by 1 million will be hit by the end of the year. I agree. So hopefully it will, and that's going to be a big milestone for us here, right? 1 million on 1 million profit on live trades. Literally every trade taken live. That's pretty crazy. I don't see I don't see anybody else doing that on these live sessions. So that's big threshold there. Yeah, Talon, you said 1.2 mil for that 6 month, 6 figure a month average. Yeah. And then hopefully next year it's going to be even more because the hedge fund will be up and running fully. And I think we'll be good to go. So, all right. Yeah. Rev said she's cute. What a great baby. Close to mealtime and she's not even fussing. I know you guys can see Alina's getting kind of crazy right here. She's not fussing, but you can see her moving around. She's ready to eat. She's trying to eat my hand. But yeah, baby girl over here, she has her little day outfit. All right, baby. Say bye to your fans. Okay, say bye to your fans, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys. Have a great yesterday. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow morning for the next live session as we run this back. Let's. I'll be having the trades listed by tonight, and then hopefully by tomorrow we'll have another.